Academic freedom and the so-called culture wars came to a head recently in a dispute about the Australian National University's refusal to accept funding from the Ramsay Centre for Western Civilisation. There's another serious dispute taking place elsewhere, not dissimilar. This one involves the sacking of a climate change sceptic, but it doesn't quite follow neat ideological lines, as Peter McCutcheon reports.
Since being sacked by his university last month, Peter Ridd has had plenty of time to pursue his fascination with old cars. But as much as he loves tinkering in the front yard of his Townsville home, the marine geophysicist remains determined to get his job back.
I love my job, I love the work I do, I love the students that I work with. It's the best job I've ever had. It's almost my only job I've ever had.
The former professor's crime was to speak disparagingly of his colleagues who found the Great Barrier Reef was in peril because of farming runoff and climate change. Are you a contrarian?
I think I have to confess to that, yes.
The reaction to his sacking was swift and predictable.
It follows a pattern, I'm afraid. We have already seen other academics punished after questioning global warming alarms.
They boot him out. We've got some big problems in this country.
But Peter Ridd has also received support from unexpected quarters.
The fundamental issue is that academic freedom is indivisible, and you can't have academic freedom for people you agree with but not for people you disagree with.
Did you feel that you needed protection from the university in any way from the criticisms he was making?
No, absolutely not. I can look after myself, so I don't need the university to protect me at all, and I'd rather they didn't.
North Queensland's James Cook University markets itself as an international leader in tropical marine and coral research.
We're number one in the world for marine biology and freshwater biology, and that comes because of the fact that we have been investing in marine biology and marine science for many years.
Peter Ridd lectured in physics and published numerous papers in his expert field of ocean sediments. But there were times when he was a square peg in a round hole. Do you accept that the arguments you're putting forward are very much the minority view in the scientific community?
Yes, absolutely. But, science isn't a democracy. It's not the most votes. It's who's got the evidence.
He is basically what I think of as a climate change denier, and a denier of the fact that the Great Barrier Reef is badly affected by poor water quality.
In scientific circles, has he made much of an impact?
He's kept us on our toes to some extent over the years, a little bit.
But broadly, there are three broad stressors that are impacting on reefs.
Peter Ridd got himself into trouble 2 years ago by criticising the university's star coral researcher, Professor Terry Hughes. He sent an email to a journalist referring to the professor as spinning a story and how hard questions would make him wriggle and squirm.
I think I could have used my language a little bit better, but seriously, I don't think it's that serious under the circumstances.
Peter Ridd was let off with a warning, but he was put on notice, or as he describes it, he came close to the cliff edge. And he went over that cliff 18 months later for comments he made during a live TV interview on Sky News.
And you see, the basic problem is that we can no longer trust the scientific organisations like the Australian Institute of Marine Science, even things like the ARC Centre of Excellence for Coral Reef Studies. A lot of
this became the basis of the professor's eventual dismissal. Why can't an academic state an honest opinion that's within their field of expertise?
It's not an issue about him providing his honest opinion in an area he has academic expertise.
But this is what happened in this situation.
No, it's the way in which the way in which he engaged in that, right?
James Cook University's Deputy Vice-Chancellor Ian Gordon says the Sky News interview breached an academic code of conduct.
The issue is when an academic, in effect, is disrespectful, is intimidating, or is using inappropriate behaviour.
There's no doubt that what I said was a robust thing, and it would have upset people. I don't dispute that. But the trouble is that if you say something important, it's likely to upset somebody.
One of the targets of Peter Ridd's allegedly disrespectful critique was renowned water quality researcher Professor John Brodie, and he says he's not that upset. Do you think he overstepped a mark?
Oh, well, I think that was an overreaction, yeah, and got him into trouble. He could have put it in better words, but the problem is when you're on something like Sky News or who's Alan Jones, they will get you to say things that are probably beyond what you wanted to say.
And Peter Ridd is not alone in saying things that may upset other academics. Professor Terry Hughes, the internationally recognised barrier reef scientist that Professor Ridd was disciplined for criticising, has himself recently described speculative research into bleaching-resistant coral as crackpot. Does that raise any red flags for you?
So the university takes all of what it would see as breaches of the code of conduct very seriously, investigates them and deals with them in an appropriate manner.
But what has got some academics really worried is that the university searched Professor Ridd's email account to find further evidence of what it deemed to be disrespectful commentary. Amongst other things, his crime was describing the university as Orwellian. What sort of message do you think that sends to academics here?
Terrible signal, obviously. A lot of people be thinking about what they wrote in emails that they thought were private to the people they were sent to. We know already lots of people are now not using the JCU email system.
The academic union says while the email search is legal, the university has broken a key tenet of academic freedom.
If you have a principled position on academic freedom, then all ideas need to get a hearing, even if they're minority views, and the majority of climate scientists might disagree with them.
Peter Ridd's not sure whether he's facing early retirement or an extended holiday. He's now fighting it out with lawyers, with support from crowdfunding and a promoter of climate change scepticism, the Institute of Public Affairs. In raising the funds, the university also charged him with breaching a confidentiality clause in his disciplinary process.
I was facing 25 charges of serious misconduct. I'm a university lecturer. There's a whole lot of young people there and they can think all sorts of things. So I have to lay myself bare and put the whole lot up. I have no choice to do that.
Have you created a martyr for the cause of climate change denialism?
The way in which the media is presenting at the moment is, in our view, untrue and misrepresenting the situation. Peter has always been allowed to conduct himself in relation to what the expectations of academic freedom are. It's the fact that he has broken the code of conduct.
Peter McCutcheon reporting.